at this point, even restructuring cannot save Nigeria. This is according to Akogun Adeniyi. Akogun is Chief Akogun Tola Adeniyi, is a former managing director of the Daily Times of Nigeria, and he has argued that restructuring cannot even save Nigeria. This restructuring is something that has been advocated for by several individuals. Restructuring as a solution has been advocated for by several Nigerian groups in the South and Middle Belt regions. And he said this cannot save the country. According to him, a building that is about to collapse cannot be restructured. And that is what Nigeria is. A lot of people do not like the truth. They want to pamper, they want to, kind of paint what has decayed already. The country cannot be restructured. That is what he said. Chief Adeniyi, a veteran columnist and author who spoke to an online reporter, said restructuring cannot be the solution in a country where certain groups feel that every other person does not matter. I do not talk about such things as restructuring anymore, he said. Restructuring of what? For what? What are you restructuring? I have gone beyond talking about that. I was an advocate for restructuring maybe about 6 years ago, he said. 2 years ago, I was also a champion of confederation. But I have come to the painful conclusion that confederation will not solve the problem that we have in Nigeria. Neither restructuring will solve the problems that we have in Nigeria. The country is already decayed. It's like a building that has slanted. Let's just look at a building that is standing straight, and this building is already close to the floor. I don't think looking for a tractor to raise back the building will solve the problem. You will always have cracks, and the integrity of that building, you know what it is. It will be very, very poor. So he said he is no longer interested in confederation, is no longer interested in restructuring. The building is already on the verge of collapsing, falling finally, and there is no need for restructuring. Chief Adeniyi dismissed talks of true federalism as a waste of time, noting that such cannot be the solution to the country's challenges. If you say you are restructuring Nigeria and you are talking about true federalism, you are just wasting your time. And the reason is simple. You are in a country where a section of that country says that every other person does not matter. So it has to do with the mindset and how they reason. So there's nothing you want to restructure anyway. That is just what he said. And he said, and that every land that belongs to every nationality in the country belongs to that single section. And you are saying you want to restructure. It's like the conference they had in 2014, which even went further to say that they could give 52 states when several states cannot even pay salaries. So they are ready to break the North into 52 states. What a pity. And even the states are not viable. These states are not viable. They only get allocation from other states. So as long as Nigeria is still one country, restructuring, confederation, whatever cannot work. As long as the man in Enugu does not require visa to go to Sokoto, you are just wasting your time. If you are a murderer in Port Harcourt, you cannot be stopped from going to Zamfara to continue your murder. To murder people there because they will tell you there is freedom of movement. So what are you restructuring? It will not stop what is going on. Asked about the solution to the challenges, Chief Adeniyi said he did not know, but that people should be able to draw their own personal conclusions. So he's got no solution. I think he has already said what it is. Nigeria should break apart. That's the only way Nigeria will function. I don't know what will stop it, but I will leave it to those who have common sense to draw their conclusions. We have gone too far to the edge of the abyss. We are just on the precipice. We are just waiting for something to push us into the abyss. And I think Amotekun, the new group, is a group in the south, is a security outfit in the south western part of Nigeria. And a lot of people have forecasted, they've predicted that group, this group is going to be the step to break Nigeria apart, as nothing seems to work any longer. Nigeria is an experiment by the British, and it is not working. An evil empire, wicked contraption called Nigeria that they created is an experiment, a very terrible one that they created, and it's time for this experiment to come to an end. The experiment expired 2014. Why are we still keeping the country together as Nigeria? So he said, even if you restructure, but you are still in the same country with a person who has a different mindset, a non-productive mindset, a negative mindset, negative energy, different religious views, who has a mindset that Nigeria belongs to people all over Africa, to some groups of people all over Africa. I'm talking about the Hausa Fulanis. They will still insist on that. How can Nigeria belong to some other Hausa Fulani tribes all over because some Fulanis are in Nigeria? And there are stories of how Fulanis were about to be kicked off from Nigeria, but some groups of people did not respond, and now they've become what they are now. They still insist on that Nigeria belongs to the whole of Africa. And the leader of that country can say it too. I'm bringing all the Igbo from all over the world to come and live in Nigeria. Yes, that is it. So if any leader say, I am bringing all the Igbo from all over the world to come live in Nigeria, or I'm bringing all the Yoruba to come and live in Nigeria. Chief Adeni, however, said it will be difficult for the country to break up given the interconnection and the interrelationships among the various groups, but that hunger may be what will cause a Somalia-like scenario. People are getting to a stage in the country that middle class has been completely wiped out, not to talk of the growing multitude of seriously poor people and the growing shameless, undisguised, insensitive opulence of the few that are cornered the commonwealth of the country, he said. In such a situation, what will happen is what people normally say, that if the poor and the hungry cannot sleep, the rich cannot have their snow. What will eventually happen is that the Almajiri and the poor people we take are helpless and helpless will rise, and arms and ammunition are so cheap in the country. Do not be deceived. By the closure of the borders and all of that, arms are smuggled into the country on a frightening scale by those who are desperate to get arms. And arms may eventually get into very many wrong hands that would rather die than continue to live in abject poverty. And like Prophet Muhammad who prophesied 1,500 years ago, a time will come in the world when the living will pass by the graveside and wish that he were the one in the grave. We are reaching that stage in Nigeria. What I'm saying is that yes, it is difficult to envisage a breakup of the country, but it is also very simple to envisage something happening. But the danger is the mode of its happening, the mode of breakup. It will be like Libya, like Somalia, where warlords will just emerge and start creating their own fiefdom. That would be complete breakdown. And maybe those pieces of fiefdom may begin to come together to form alliances. And what we used to know as Nigeria may end up having 6 to 8 countries. Such a situation is usually very bloody and brings about mass suffering. Husbands could see their wives raped in their living rooms by ruffians. Mothers could see their children slaughtered in the open. This is according to Akogun Adeni. He is a former managing director of Daily Times of Nigeria, and he has argued that restructuring is not going to work, as Nigeria already is on the final verge of collapsing. So there is no need for us to start talking about restructuring. That's just it. So hopefully the skills will fall off the eyes of a lot of people. It's just too long. People are living, they are not living as they are supposed to live in that country. Rather, some groups of people would rather want to, face that in a different way rather than facing what is really happening. When you talk about it, some of them begin to talk from the both sides of their mouth. So that's just what it is. It's a wake-up call for all the South to join hands together and let's break the country apart. Let us have the pieces so that we can now resolve whatever internal issues we have. That's what it is for now. If you're not a member of this channel, let us grow together by you tapping on the subscription button and the red notification icon bell below. It will alert you whenever videos are uploaded. For those who are already a member of this channel, I say a very big thank you for the support.